The views and opinions of the Nissan Nation podcast are strictly that. They are views and opinions of Dave and Danny and its guests. They are not the views and opinions of Nissan Corporate Americas or otherwise, Japan, wherever. So now, a DRB and KGB media presentation, the Nissan Nation podcast. Hit it, Kelly.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? All things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to parts unknown. This is your Nissan Nation podcast, and alongside the beginning of 2018, my co-host, my brother from another mother, Daniel freaking Groders. What's up, buddy?
What up, bros?
Oh, man.
2018 bros of the year.
Merry New Year or whatever they say. I don't know.
Welcome to the 18 of the 2000s.
Right, man. We're lucky to be here. From everything I read of the newspapers and stuff, it's any minute there's an atomic bomb gonna something, and
yep. All of them. All of the axis of evils, man. The Irans, the Russias, the North Koreans, they're all eating each other. They're eating us. We're eating them. And
so our bellies are full, is what you're saying.
Yeah, man. There's all kinds of business going on.
Well, so how is the land of Oz down there in Southern California?
We got rain, Dave.
What?
We got rain. It was wet. We got a couple inches, and then and since we just had a giant fire, there was mudslides, and everybody died. It's Armageddon over here in Southern California right now.
How do they
Not to make light of death?
Right. How do they consider? How do they consider that like the oasis that it is? It's because it's like anytime a bug farts, a landslide or something happens, man.
Well. The problem is like we have fire all year, and then we have one rainstorm, and everything there's like it's nothing but just like dry dirt and just slides into the ocean.
Right.
They found a car in the ocean today.
Wow.
Apparently.
What kind of was it? A Nissan?
Nope.
Oh,
Nissan's float, dude. I wish they found my Z's in the ocean.
So, have you not got rid of your Z's yet, buddy?
No, it's side projects that I'm never gonna have enough money to actually be able to do anything worthwhile. So I'm like getting over the side projects of Z's.
Well, let me suggest something. You take those Z's down and have them smelted down into metal, and you have them rolled into bars so you can put them on your race truck and make roll cages and stuff, man.
I'll be the most expensive roll cage known to man.
Yeah, but you could say, hey, this is powered by Z's. Not just one, two.
Not because the Z's are so expensive, just because the entire process of melting down my Z's would probably actually cost me a lot of money.
Oh,
so,
man.
I mean, they're just sitting here. It's not like they're costing me money, but in order to get one running, it would, it's $100 there.
Right.
And basically, anytime I have $100, I put it in my race truck fund, and which has been growing very quickly these.
Nice, man. Every time I seem to have $100, man, I put them into Bitcoin or something, and then
I've been noticing that
my
Bitcoin and
my $100 then turns into like $87 somehow. I don't know. I think I'm doing it wrong, Danny.
I think that's my $100 ends up turning into a melted metal.
Well, I think it's more profitable the way you're doing it.
Well, no, Dave, believe me when I say that every single dollar that I've spent will basically go towards not being a dollar anymore. It will go towards loss of money, but pure grins.
I was going to say, smiles cost money, Danny, and I think when you fire that truck up and get ready just to kind of tweak it a little bit down like a road or something, you're just going to be like, yep, it was worth it.
Dude, I can't wait to do that Facebook Live.
And your kids, they don't need to go to college, Danny, so.
College is for losers anyways, dude.
That's right, man. You're taking them to racing school. That's what you're doing.
They'll probably be taking some kind of feminine studies or something like that and get some kind of degree that costs $1 million that they can't use anyways. I've been trying to teach him how to fix cars. That's where all the real money is.
That's right, man. And from what I gather of Instagram anymore, man, there's a page for everybody. And I've been following these female welders all of a sudden. I'm very intrigued by that.
Oh. And, wow, Dave, you got some kind of weirdness going on.
No. Somehow
Dave's in the bathroom like, oh yeah, lay them dimes, baby, lay them dimes. Creeper.
Oh yeah.
This is a creeper alert, kids. If you're listening, tell your mom and dad that they need to change the channel because we're about to get weird.
Oh man. Shit, Danny.
Hey, Dave, does Kelly know about your weird women fabricator thing?
Well, she does have a welding helmet in the bedroom.
Honey, this may sound weird, but I need you to put something on. There's these big gloves, this leather, this leather apron, and a helmet.
I'm crying.
If that's not digressing, I don't know what is, Dave.
Oh my God, no! But so you know how Instagram it suggests things that you check out, and I follow a couple guy welders and stuff, and I was like, but it's a rabbit hole now of like, oh well, this chick's welding in a bikini. What? Why?
Guy welders are good.
Well,
so you started with dudes, and then you moved over to the ladies all day.
Well, I guess I'm
not going to go well for you.
I'm bi welder. I don't know, man.
Bi welder. You're into TIG, MIG, stick welding, all kinds of welding. I appreciate that, Dave. You're so liberal, Dave.
Oh man,
so free, like a hippie. You're like a welding hippie love child.
How did I even get into
I don't
this?
know, Dave.
I don't know, man. But yeah,
rail.
definitely. But so yeah, I've been checking out our trying to get those likes on the old Instagram. So if y'all listening and not in your own Instagram and not following us, Nissan Nation podcast, and maybe I'll link somehow female welders to the to the group. But so as Danny points his phone at me, I'm a little scared at what you're doing over there, Dan. But so Dan,
updates. We're gonna update some stuff, man. We're gonna post a picture of this live podcast. I'm gonna post a picture of Dave podcasting. Dave, I want you to give us that $1 million. I just saw a chick welding smile.
Oh damn it, man.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, well, Danny's in the dark over there, so I can't post what he's doing.
Yeah, well, the good news is Dave is I mean, let's chat about our own garages for a quick second. The good news is I just ordered all new lights for my garage, so the next time you may be able to see me here podcasting, I'll have all new LED shop lights in my garage.
You mean
I'm pretty excited about that.
NNP Studios West is going to have some new lights?
Yeah, actually, the whole reason I'm pissed about the 300Z is it's just in my garage. Like, I don't really mind it being here. It's like I said, it's not costing me money, but I'd like to push it out, clean up my garage, finish up, kind of like drywalling it in a little bit,
right, on
a couple of the walls that it's missing.
Well,
get it to a point where I can do some video and shoot some video in here, and have my little studio set up so I can
some welding videos,
podcast from in here a little bit better as opposed to podcasting off my dirty workbench.
Yeah, some welding videos. Is that what
no, Dave. No, Dave.
Come on,
derail.
Turn
Don't
it
derail.
But so yeah, man, that's cool. And when you got to get those double stacker Z's out of there, buddy.
I do. In truth, the one in the front yard, I still have a couple more parts I got to pull off. I mean, it's not in the front yard. It's on my driveway. There's still a couple parts I want to pull off, and then I'm going to try and just give it away. It's basically a shell. So I got to get rid of that thing fast. They're both on Craigslist, and I've had a lot of looky-loos, texting people, but a bunch of Craigslist flakes.
Where's our NISFest people, man? Come on, you guys have NISFest people. Come by Danny's his half projects and make it your half project.
Yeah. No, a lot of people come and look, and they're like, "Oh, this would be perfect," and then never show up again. So,
well, that's the Craigslist.
Whatever.
That's the old Craigslist, man. See, what you really need to do is go Facebook Marketplace, buddy. That's where the action's at.
Oh yeah,
now.
that's gonna change everything. I'm sure the flakes aren't on there.
See, that way, Car Jeep can't get goats that way because he'll see who's actually posting goats.
Exactly.
Oh man, somebody hit me up the other day about that. They were talking to me about the show, and they're like, "That was some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard of y'all talking about these goats."
It really is. They started bringing it up again on the Gone Moab Facebook page. They're chatting about like what who's pranking who and what's gonna happen. They're bringing it up again. And man, I had a good chuckle at thinking back on those on them goats.
Yeah.
And for those of you that may be listening that didn't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to the last Gone Moab podcast. There's some good laughs on that one.
And the one after it, because I think it even bleeds into the next show a little.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll pop up here and there. I'm sure for a long time. So if you don't know about it, you should, so that you understand what we're talking about when it pops up. That
is true. But Danny, I want to say happy birthday to us, buddy. This is 3 years running now.
It is, and we have traversed the states, and we've done all kinds of adventures since the beginning. How many years is it now?
3 years, man. 3 years. January 28th, 15, I believe, is when it started.
Man, what a crazy time! A lot has happened in those 3 years, man.
It has, man. We've seen a Nissan get a new Titan. We've seen the kicks that we talked about a few shows back. We
the death of the Xterra.
Yeah, and somehow maybe the revival of the Xterra.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
And speaking of
talks about that.
Yeah, and speaking of that, man, we may have one of the most epic interviews for Nissan coming up the next month or so. I can't really mention names, but let's just say it's a top floor guy over at the headquarters in Franklin that might want to get to let us talk to him a little bit, Danny.
Yeah, luckily we have made some connections over the years, some good friends that have also made connections, and you know what, networking is key. It's not what you know, it's who you know, and I abide by that because I don't really know anything, and so the only chance I have is knowing people.
So, well, I'm gonna put this out. We have on our Facebook page, we have an area where you can what is it? I think they call it the NNP chat area. If you would go over there, if you had your chance to talk to, we won't say the main dog going, however you say his name, but if you were maybe a step down from that guy and you wanted to ask some questions, what would you ask? I know sadly Danny's not going to get to go over there, I don't think, with us, and I'm
going to send you my list of questions. What does it take to get some Nissan guys to sponsor my race truck? Can you send me money for parts? That kind of stuff.
They'll send you a fruit basket, Danny. They'll say, "Here, that's
good luck."
Yeah,
sincerely.
Don't use our name. Please pull all the badges off that vehicle.
Hey, no lie. If Nissan sent me a fruit basket and said "good luck," sincerely, I'd be stoked as hell.
That would be awesome, man. That's
an acknowledgement that I actually exist would be all right.
Well, trust me, me too. But
it's only been 3 years.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got a chance to talk with some bigwig over there, man.
Yeah.
And guys that make actual decisions. So, and I know me and Danny a few weeks ago, we had our little insider talking to us about where the Frontier was going, which we can't just. I trust me, I want to discuss this so bad, but we can't discuss it.
We both got the info, and as much as we want to share it, it's we don't want to break down that relationship and cause them grief in turn, but we can say that there's cool, exciting, fun news on the horizon. We can't wait to break it to you. But in truth, what we got is hearsay as well. So nothing we would have told you if we were jerks and burned our bridges and burned our source, if you will. Nothing is set in stone as of right now, but there's really, really cool info on the horizon, just as far as good leadership, I would say, without,
American truck leadership is what I would say. Somebody that
really good, cool info that's kind of sneaking down the pipeline that really puts some confidence in the future for Nissan, for the Nissan truck line at least. And I would say that goes across the board. I think there's some good ideas being put forth over at Nissan. So we'll see how things go. And hopefully with this new interview that you got planned up, maybe we'll be able to talk a little bit more about it. Who knows?
I hope so, man. I do hope so, because I haven't. It's been a year or so since I've been in the building, so security's probably forgotten me now, and they'll let me in again.
Your face has been dropped off the no entry list,
the do not fly list. I'm on the do not Nissan list,
do not drive list. Very good.
Oh
Very
man,
good.
so Danny, let's do you have any updates to your truck, man? I know last show you were and you posted a few things on the Book of Face.
Yeah. So I can't remember if I mentioned it last time, but as of and maybe I'll kind of make this announcement. Sadly, I'm not with Niztec and Xterra Performance. I'm no longer actually working with Chris anymore. There's absolutely no hard feelings there. I'm really good friends with Chris. It just with some of the things that are going on in my life, I couldn't dedicate the time I needed to work with him anymore. So we've mutually parted ways. I'm not doing any marketing with him anymore. But I would still absolutely suggest that Niztec Lifts and Chris is an amazing company, as well as Xterra Performance. Amazing guys that work over there, and they do nothing but take care of us in the Nissan community. With that being said, 2018, I am absolutely focusing on my race truck. It's been on and off for 2 years now, almost, that I've been dreaming about this and trying to scavenge money towards it. And I was just looking at the kind of the bank account of the money that I put into it and how long it's taken. It blew me away. I thought I've only been working on this for like a little over a year, and it's basically 2 years. And so maybe even 3, but whatever. Who's counting?
I will, because y'all give me shit for my SAS bill.
Yeah. No, your SAS bill beat me by a long shot. But 2018, I'm gonna race the truck this year. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I have a huge sponsor, local sponsor, who I partnered with. It's Simi Valley Tire Pros. It's a Tire Pros franchise out here in the town over from mine, basically out here in California. One of my best friends from high school actually owns the franchise, and I help him out. And he's partnering with me. We're gonna race it together. So he's basically taken on part of the build. So now that we can both, put money towards it and work towards getting it done logistically and financially, you kind of need a couple people to really make a race team work. And that's what they call it, a race team, because doing it by yourself sucks, and it's almost overwhelming. So with that being said, there's money in the pockets of the fabricator over at BTF Fabrication. He's working on it actually probably this week. He's going to be working on it next week, I believe. I'm actually headed over there Tuesday. I posted a short video on my my personal Instagram, DeGrootX, DAGROOTX, that you can take a look at. Maybe I'll post another video over on the NNP Instagram. Just a little walkthrough on the cage and what's going on with it. But I'm going to go over there, freshen up the cage. It's got a little light rust because it's been sitting a little bit, and clean it up a little bit so that he can keep working on it.
So have you made any major hurdles completed on this thing yet, or is it still kind of just really?
To tell you the truth, I've been waiting on pictures all week. I've been checking my phone, seeing if he posted something on Instagram before he sent it to me or something like that. It's ridiculous when like I said, I dropped some money off over to him, and he told me he'd be working on it. Then it rained, of course, and I'm like, oh no, that pushes it back the day or whatever. But the rear suspension should be done very, very soon, which that's probably what you'll see pop out. I'm bringing over, some more cash to him to get some front suspension done. I thought I saw it one time, like you posted some upper control arms or something that he had worked on. It was lower control arms. Lower control arms, I believe, are built now. So we're gonna start working on front suspension next.
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I've been saying this for a while. The rear suspension is a little bit more. I won't say it's more in depth, but it's not like a kit per se.
Right.
The front suspension is kind of a kit that he builds. So that's not. It's not quite as much custom fab as it is, laser cut and weld it all together, and then, build a quick shock tower and put it in. It's the rear suspension is, a lot more fabrication and design. So, and same thing with putting the spare tires in and designing all that stuff. So there's a little bit more time involved in getting that, mocked up and made.
And you're going dual tires for spares, right?
I think so. We talked about that on and off because the tires won't stand up straight in the back without some heavy mods with the fuel cell. So they may, I don't know yet. We're still kind of going back and forth on that on whether or not they'll fit. We got to do some measurements. And
is to run dual tires like that, is that more of a Baja thing to get ready for something like that, or because I know?
Well, it's long races. If there's a race like Vegas to Reno, you probably I think want to run dual tires just because there's long stretches between two pit stops. I mean, if it's a short race where you're doing laps and there's lots of pit stops, it's not not nearly as important.
The min is laps, right?
The min is laps. They're a little bit longer laps. There's shorter laps in it's killing me out in Prim. I forget I think it's a Parker 250 or something like that. Slightly shorter laps, I believe. So it kind of depends. It's kind of. It comes down to, how much do you want to gamble that you're only going to blow one tire. So.
Right. How many, because your class, 7,100 is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, so the plan is class 70. I'm building it to class 7,100. I can also race in what's called class 2,000, and that's in More Racing, which is More, and then Snore as well, Snore. Snore is Southern Nevada, and then More is Mojave. I can't remember the acronyms anymore. But More is down here in Southern California, out in the desert, basically closer to Nevada, but it's still desert stuff out there.
Right.
So those two classes are leaf spring classes. They're kind of a little bit more sportsman and wide open classes. You can do a lot more than 7,100 allows, but 7,100 is the tightest rules of the three. So if I build it to 7,100, I can also just run in those other two.
Yeah, it's kind of your benchmark to what you can do.
Yeah, so that'll let me race all three classes or both classes, and not have to worry about not making past the inspections or whatever. But those other two racing bodies are less expensive, not quite as grand as far as like the entire race. There's not nearly as many. It's not as big of a production. I will say that in the class 2000 is a much larger class. There's a lot more trucks. I believe, if I remember right, you can run V8s in their class, but it is a leaf spring class as well. So
are you going to be still affiliated with the Team Xterra Racing, or are you doing your own?
No, we're doing our own thing. Team Xterra Racing. I don't know 100% if they're going to be racing this year. I've heard some chatter from them that they may have got some new sponsors. So
did they pick up a rear axle?
Yeah, in truth, I'm pretty sure he put a 9-inch rear end in it.
Right.
So he should be set up as far as that's concerned. But I don't know if he's going to race this year or not.
Because Dave had some health problems or something, right? I know there was something that.
Yeah, it's just some health problems, and just again, getting sponsorship is a big deal for them. So
yeah, because they're
we'll see if they come out.
They're from Utah, but they're not really close to anything. So
it's a little bit more of a haul for them.
Right.
To get out to Vegas, it's 12 hours I think for them. But yeah, so we'll see if they show up out this year. I'm looking forward to getting in any race, really. I want to build it as quickly as I possibly can, and I want to put it into a race.
Well, who besides the tire shop, you have any other sponsors you want to kind of plug out there?
They helped me out with the rear shocks.
Who's that?
I also, what's that?
Well, you said who did to the rear shocks?
Radflow.
Oh, okay.
Radflow set me up with the rear shocks, the 3.0 18-inch.
God, those things look so beefy, man. When you posted those up, I was like, holy cow.
Those are huge shocks, dude.
Yeah, because it's like got to the door handle, it seemed like, of the truck. When you set them next to it, I was like, geez.
Yeah, that's not extended. That was like halfway down through travel. But let's see, Doug Thorley. Let's see, I got Doug Thorley headers. I'm just trying to think of kind of sponsors from before that I have now. They've got some stuff out to me.
Who did your racing suit and all that stuff?
That was it's kind of the old sponsorship from the Team Xterra Racing, but that was DJ Safety.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we're possibly going to have some other sponsorships. I've been contacting some people. I'm trying to get the truck into a little bit more of a closer, more ready fashion before I start hitting up too many people.
Yeah, it's hard. I
want them to know that it's ready.
Yeah, it's hard to show something sitting on blocks, sort of. and
basically,
yeah,
that's the status. So,
you go, hey, would you put your name on this?
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, I
made some great connections recently. So
the NNP is like able. You know how GM had the little GM logo on the side of their cars for a while? You know, that just inch by inch logo.
Yeah.
I think the NNP can afford about that on there, Danny.
Yeah, no. The NNP can afford whatever we feel like we can afford. The NNP is going to get whatever leftover spaces on the truck. That's what the NNP is going to get. So if I don't get any good sponsors, we might have a real big NNP sponsor. Man, this guy's got big time sponsorship. Yeah, right.
It says Nissan in the name. It's gotta be good.
well, anyways, Dave. That's enough about race truck.
We'd hinted that we were going to update the website and stuff, man, and I got started on that this week, and we got some changes going on. But once I finalize the website, there will actually will be some swag on there. Me and Danny were talking about Danny's going to have his own blog area on the website.
We'll try and keep you fresh updates on some race truck stuff
for the Groot swag, because everybody wants Action Suit Groot stickers. Swag. You got to have those, man.
Yeah.
And we've of course the hats that we gave away. We gave away some hats, and I'm going to do some polo shirts and stuff. For our highbrow listeners.
Oh, classy.
When they're on the golf course, they want to represent the best.
You rep the podcast, man. I like it.
But yeah, so we got some swag and stuff. But we also, I thought long and hard about this one, man, and I just debated whether to do this or not. But I added a donation button to the page, and why did I do that? Because we're broke. Plain and simple. No, the Amazon stuff, man, we make a few pennies.
I wouldn't go so far as to say we're broke, Dave. I would say that
beyond
that
broke?
the funds in the NNP account are no longer there.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. Danny's web hosting and all this, stupid.
Well, we're almost like a nonprofit without any kind of charity.
We are the charity
situation. We're basically a charity without actually being a charity.
No, but I have had people in the past ask about this of hey, is there a way we just want, I'm not asking all the time, but they wanted, hey, can we just donate some money to you? And you're like, well, I don't how to handle that. But we added a donation button, and whatever, we don't ask you to do anything about it. If you feel in your heart you want to throw a couple bones in there, man, that's cool. That fund, literally, I'm trying to get Danny flown out East Coast sometime this year, and that's where that money needs to go.
Yeah, that'd be great if I could go out and we could do a good show out there. But
yeah, and I'll go ahead and announce it. So this year, my travel plans are a GLX. What is it? The Great Lakes Xterra. Yeah. They're having a spring meet, so we'll be in the Chicago area, or I will be. And then I'm going to try to do the East Coast Xterra Challenge, which is Rosh Creek in Pennsylvania, which is I've never been in that area, so I've heard a lot of good things about it. Some of those guys come to Went and really brag. And of course, then I'm going to do Went, and I'm trying to fit a couple car shows in there as well. I know there's the Z1 thing in Atlanta I've hinted about in the past I'd like to get to. But we're really we want to do some different things this year, and the different things unfortunately cost money. So above and beyond what we normally would bring in, and we've had some great sponsors in the past, like Niztec and Insane Fab and Lifestyle Off Road and those guys. But we're small time, and we want to take this thing bigger. So we're doing
like
the donation
our listeners to help support us. We're trying to give you some good entertainment, and if you want to help us, we're gonna have some good swag stuff on there too, so that you get a little something out of it as well.
Yeah, we'll signed autographs of Danny and Dave.
Pants on or off, depending on how much you.
Just depending, you hit the $1,000 mark, and I'm not above pouring myself out a little bit, But that's
Dave
enough.
With no pants welding.
But yeah,
all right,
female welders. But yeah, so check out the new website. It's going to change over the next few weeks. We're going to add some content, like I said. But Danny. Speaking
what
of,
do we got going in the Nissan world, Dave?
Well, you were talking about your Z, man, and something came up to auction recently that people are trying to sell a Z.
There's something cool in the Z world.
I think our Zebra guys would like this car.
Our Zebra guys would. I mean, it's red. So
that is true.
There's a Z32, a 91 300 ZX for sale out in Japan right now. It was built by a Japanese tuning company, and it's a Bonneville Speed Trials car. It hit 261 miles an hour on a 3.1 liter, which was basically the
normal 3.0
tweaked. Yeah, it's a tweaked VC. It's the same motor, just tweaked. It's putting up 986 horsepower. So they took that car, they freshened it up a little bit, they detuned it a little bit. Changed out the trans gears to make it a daily driver, and
because after you go it still owns the record for what, production car or something.
Yeah.
So that's what you do
it's
after
beautiful red. It's got a nice big spoiler on it.
You go break a record, man. That's what you want to do. Then you got to go to the office the next day, man. So
hell yeah, and it's got a huge, like on the hood, it's got a huge lump on the hood, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Would you call that a lovely lady hump?
Yeah, it's a lovely lady hump. It's like a collector on.
Would it be a fair lady hump?
Turbos, I believe. It's a fairly lovely fair lady hump. It's going for $71,000 at the Tokyo Auto Salon. That
seems like a bargain.
Month, so
that's a bargain for your daily driver.
Snag that thing.
I mean,
yeah.
GTR
So just donate $76,000 to our. I'm sorry, 71. I'm getting greedy. $71,000 on our podcast, and I'm gonna fly out to Japan and I will buy it.
Are you gonna drive it back then?
Yeah.
Because as fast as it's
261, you should be able to skip right across the water, dude. I don't see the problem. Put paddles on her.
You know what's great about that design of that car, like the ones you have behind you? It still looks modern, man. They still look like an exotic sports car.
I still love that car, man. Everything about that car. I love it, dude.
I look at the design, the 300 that was before that, where it was still kind of a 280 design, and I look at the 370s now, and they're all nice, but for some reason that particular 300, man, just
it's sleek, man. They're so sleek.
And you got to have the T-tops with it too, because nothing says you're a pimp. Like T-tops.
Cruising the beaches. That's what I got to do. I got to take the T-tops down. And in truth, I put my Z up for sale on Craigslist, like I said before, and it's just kind of a headache trying to sell it on Craigslist. It's I'm not going to get what I want for it, so I go back and forth between wanting to sell it or not. Just because I put so much money into the racetrack, I don't want to sell it. Or I can't fix it, but I don't want to sell it. But now that I was thinking about it,
what is that, Danny?
Put them T-tops down and go cruise the coast.
It is a Twilight Zone, Danny, because our next little tidbit is kind of Twilight Zone like. So Nissan has decided that, hey, we're going to do autonomous driving, but we also got to sense how your brain's going to react to things, and we want to be able to have your your brain help drive your car, like most people you would think hand to brain to hands to do, but they're working on some weird brain technology, and it's been all over this week in my feed, and I'm debated talking about it, but I was like, when it's this weird, man, you gotta discuss it a little bit. So Nissan unveiled their new research Monday that allows vehicles to interpret signals from the driver's brain, promising to speed up reaction times for drivers. So Danny, we've debated autonomous driving. So now, now they're going to study your brain to drive.
Well, the only thing that this is going to do, Dave, is make me pull over to hot chicks all the time.
So you just think about it in your car revs?
And all of a sudden it's going to hit the brakes, yank the wheel over to the side, and all of a sudden the car is going to be pointed straight at the hot chick on the road. And I'm like, no, I can't. I was just looking, car. They don't actually want to go over.
Well, they were quoted as saying, we care about the experience of the driver in the car. I'm not even going to try to I'm not even going to attempt his name, but senior innovation researcher at Nissan Research Center in Japan, he told ABC News, he said, you're still controlling it, but you're just going to do it a lot better. So I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, that one caught me off guard let's have sensors on your head so we can study.
So they're gonna go instead of from your head to your hands to the steering wheel, it's just gonna go straight from your head to the steering rack.
Yeah,
that's my understanding.
It's kind of strange. It really did catch me off guard though, because I'm like, what? How do you?
You're just gonna get in your car and you're gonna plug a plug straight into your friggin' chin.
It's the Matrix. All of a sudden, in the back of your head, you just.
Yeah. Yep. You're gonna put a helmet on. You're gonna plug a plug into your chin, and immediately you're gonna just close your eyes, or actually there's gonna be virtual reality in front of your face, and you're gonna drive around with your eyeballs and your thoughts.
Well, the most creepy part is, and I don't know if you've seen this, and I'll send you the link later, but ABC News has a link of this guy with his hand. The dude's, so this lady's sitting at a simulator, and she looks like, I don't want to be here. Like, she has this total, I just don't want to be sitting here look on her face. And then the researcher guy has his fingertips on her head, holding this sensor thing on it. And he's making the most goofy face I have ever seen, man. Danny,
awesome.
I've got to send, because the technology is so creepy as is. So you need a creepy guy, I guess, maybe to talk people into it. And who goes into Nissan and says, "Hey, I've got an idea." No, just hear me out.
Car mind control.
Yeah, just hear me out, guys.
Seriously though.
I want to study your brain and have it.
Yeah. The problem is Dave's going to buy one of these, and then all of a sudden Kelly's going to be like, "Hey, Dave, why is your car constantly taking you over to the girl welding shop?" He's like, "I swear, it's not my fault. The car just keeps doing it.
I don't know what it's
it does
doing.
it on its own.
I don't know what it's doing." All right. So Danny, it's just went to your Facebook. So I need you to look at this thing and look at this picture for me.
All right, I got to check this out. All right, hold on.
This is great radio, Danny.
Wants to make you a better driver by reading your brains. It's on the Washington Post reporting this. Must have been a slow news day. I'm guessing
a slow news week for cars.
Trump didn't cuss any countries out or something, huh?
But I sent you a picture. You got to just look at this picture that I sent you.
Did you Facebook message me?
I did, dude. It's there. And I will post this on our Facebook page.
You know what? Post it on our Facebook page right now so that everybody can go back and take a look at what you're talking about. I haven't seen it yet.
Did it just not pop up for you? What's going on, Danny?
No, it's my phone. I got one of them old iPhones, man.
What?
It's falling apart. Didn't you see it? Oh, geez, that's creepy. Yeah. The guy's in a blue action suit.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some weird headphones on, and she's got some weird headphones on, and then he's touching her head, and there's a screen in front of her, but she's looking over to the right, and she's smiling like this is creepy.
Like inappropriate touching's going on.
Yeah, and he's looking like I can't believe they're letting me do this right now. That guy's got the vinegar strokes face, dude. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
that guy's in his vinegar strokes, and she's looking over like, you guys better pay me some money for this one.
All right, it's getting posted up.
Yeah, that's a good picture, Dave. I appreciate that picture.
You'll picture it when you dream about it tonight.
But haunt my dreams.
Yeah, you'll see this. You'll see this published on our Facebook page. But check out if you want some weird reading. Check out how Nissan is trying to study your brain to help you drive better. Even though they don't want you driving, they want you in an autonomous car, but they're going to study your brain just in case.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Very interesting
technology.
And of course, we're me and Danny are always scouring the web for interesting things, and with putting up a new website, I'm like, how do you get, Grandpa Dave comes out and it's like, hey, how do you get to the YouTubes? How you get on your Facebook page? And somehow by doing that and checking out our YouTube at Nissan Podcast on the YouTubes, I came across this thing called DK Nissan Navara 2017 ST/X build, and the STX is it's one of the models of it's like a Pro 4X here or whatever I wouldn't call it the Pro 4X, but it's one of those badgings they do. And so I'm like, let's see, it's your typical, it's probably some guy in his garage trying to build a truck. No, this is Darren Kelly Drift is the name of the company that put this truck together, and I posted it on our Facebook page. Dude, for some I don't know what it is, but when you add mud tires to some vehicles, it just brings them to life. You put a little lift on them. And I've seen it with the Titan some, but that Navara, man, I really dig that truck. Once the Australians get their hands on it, man, it is really a kick-ass truck. And check out this video. It's only like 8 minutes long, but it goes through and it shows them building it. And Danny, in your NISTEC days, you'd have been interested in this. The underpinning looks exactly the same as our Frontier. Everything about it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, I was noticing that. It very, very, very similar stuff. But yeah, it's a really cool looking truck. They did a really good job. Nice little video, and yeah, it's definitely worth a sitting down and taking a gander at.
Gander is like my old man ganders, or
Gandario.
I believe that's French, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so Danny, I don't have a ton of news. This is dry. We got Detroit Auto Show coming up next week, man. So it's like crickets.
Yeah, we'll try and do a good look at that, and come to you with another show. We don't have to make all these shows 1 million hours long, so hopefully you guys got a little something from us, and had a laugh with us at Dave's expense.
That's right.
Real quick, Dave, I wanted to give you guys all a heads up. Crazy crash in the Dakar. The Dakar is going on right now. Right. You guys got to check it out. Bryce Menzies is a huge off-road driver in trophy trucks and for Red Bull and stuff like that. He was in a huge crash in the Dakar. You got to check it out.
Really? Is that the one? Like the one that
his truck.
They were showing the polarized glass windshield. That's like $8,000 or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
He was in a crazy wreck. Just totally destroyed his truck. We'll call. I don't even know what you call these things. It's not necessarily a truck, but
it's like they kind of look like those Volkswagen Touareg. I don't know what you call them exactly, but it's like it's a weird looking SUV mix thing, right?
Yeah, it's a mini Clubman, I believe.
Oh, it looks nothing like a mini Clubman.
It's a mini, but there's nothing mini about it except for a little badge on the front.
Right.
But yeah, it was a crazy crash, kind of depressing because it was I believe that was his first Dakar rally that he tried to do.
Well, you go race, $1 million truck or whatever it probably costs. Yeah, you got to go wreck it once,
Well, the thing is it may be I think it's a couple mil for one of those trucks, but just the support crew and everything else, there's millions and millions and millions of dollars in these race programs.
Oh yeah,
Dakar. The Dakar makes trophy truck racing look like some kind of like cheap kids playground when it comes to money.
Well, what's your favorite thing on Netflix? Favorite show that you like watching? It does the Baja.
Are you talking about the that movie?
Yeah, your favorite movie on there.
So if you guys haven't seen Dust to Glory, I'd rather not be your friend anymore.
But yeah, they explained that a little bit, man. The money of what it costs.
Yeah, I think they chat a little bit about it in Dust to Glory. But if you have not watched the movie Dust to Glory, it is an off-roading orgasm of bitchin' stories about desert racing,
guys
and
on
what Baja's all
motorcycles
about.
and
It's
bugs
really an amazing film that if you like off-roading at all, or if you even have a tiny interest in desert racing, watch that film, because it is like it's a little bit older, but I mean it holds up absolutely.
They made a sequel to it too, didn't they?
They made a sequel, and I don't think it's like released. They did like a special screening recently, but I wasn't able to go and see it. But yeah, for the 50th anniversary was last year of the Baja 1000. So,
well, that thing, once you started talking about racing, man, and you were told me like you got to watch this thing, and yeah, you watch it, and you're just like, oh my god, I want to get a race truck now, and I just want to go fast in the desert. Yeah,
it's just one of those movies that's done so well. It grabs you and it says, you got to do this.
It says, hey, go give me your wallet.
Yeah, right.
And
don't worry about this. No, it says, hey, don't worry about the money. You'll figure it out.
That's right. And what a great way to segue, Danny. Speaking of wallets and desert and things that want to take your money, we just talked to somebody from what was it? The Vegas Nationwide Nissan Meet.
Yeah.
Say that 15 times fast, buddy. It's
Melissa. We got her on.
We did, and you really got to talk to her. You wouldn't let me talk at all. Typical Danny fashion. Danny looks at her numbers, and he keeps looking back at that Moab by himself, and he's like, "I've got this, dude. I don't need you."
Do something to get them numbies up.
So Danny handled this one, but it was really interesting. I didn't know much about this event. I'd heard of it, and but Vegas is like a whole nother world to me, so. That's somewhere in between me and Danny's, all I know. But yeah, they get to discuss a little bit of, they do some off-roading and some bus riding and all kinds of stuff. So let's get into that, Danny.
All right, guys, we have a special guest this evening. We have Melissa from the Vegas Nationwide Nissan Meet, the mouthful of an awesome meet that happens in Vegas yearly. I believe yearly, right, Melissa?
Yes, it's our annual meet.
Awesome. And you are basically the coordinator for this, or the one of the organizers, I suppose, correct?
Correct. We have 4 of us that work together. Myself, John Q, he's my right-hand man, and then we have Nick Morales, who does our trails, as well as Mike Ogie, who handles some of our sponsors, as well as all of our shirts.
Cool. Very cool. And why don't you give us a little bit of kind of a history? How did this start? And maybe, how long have you guys been doing this?
We started, this will be our 5th year of doing this. Basically started, a bunch of us have met from Titan Talk and would hang out in Cali, and then we decided to have a meet in Vegas. I've only been heading it up for the last 3 years, to be honest. So they started meeting, and the original person who was hosting decided he wasn't going to do it anymore, so we took over because it was such a good thing. We've grown throughout the years, adding more people and getting much bigger sponsors.
Right on. Very cool. And so what all do you guys do? I mean, I've been to one of them. I've been to one of them. I basically just popped in and said hi, and because Niztec was sponsoring, so I was helping out with that. But it was right in the middle of the races going on out there, so I wasn't able to spend too much time. But why don't you explain kind of what you guys all do? And I know it's morphed a little bit since then, but why don't you give us a kind of a lowdown on what you guys have done and what it's kind of morphed into, and what's coming up planned in the future.
Okay, well, what we were doing is just getting together, doing a little bit of off-roading, kind of doing some partying at night. And now what it's turned into is, again, like I said, we have all the sponsors. So we put together an itinerary for the days. So we have an arrival day, which is Thursday. So kind of a meet and greet for the newbies that haven't been out to the meet. And then the next day we'll do a 2-wheel drive and a 4-wheel drive trail, so everybody can go. Or we also plan something. Last year we went to the Hoover Dam for those who didn't want to go off-roading. And then I got us a big party bus, which took us from the hotel down to Fremont so we can all hang out as a group partying.
Right.
We had a big raffle with tons of sponsors, as well as, and it's a free raffle, by the way. All you have to do is show up, drive your truck,
Cool.
you get a ticket. And then we had a big dinner. And then just the last days, kind of everybody will go to breakfast. Some of them have left, just kind of a say goodbye. It's a good
Cool.
time to hang out, show us your trucks, what mods you've had. Like everybody's doing their last minute mods right before. We had one guy, Justin, who was actually modding in the parking lot last year.
Awesome. Very nice. Very nice. So, as you know, or may not know, we're obviously both big off-road fans. What kind of does the off-road thing entail? Is there, if I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, or maybe it was last year. I can't remember. There was a pretty good little break on the trail, but you guys do some decent little trails out there in Vegas, right?
Oh yeah, they usually do a trail from the Pioneer Saloon back to the hotel,
Cool.
which can be a little bit brutal. However, I did it in two-wheel.
Nice.
You get a little beat up. I bent a couple rims, and my wheels are powder coated, so I messed up a little paint.
Oops.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. Some
Cool.
of the guys are used to it, so they go flying 80 through it.
Yeah.
But it's not so seasoned to the trail. Go a little slower.
Yeah, for sure. So who all is like sponsoring this event for you guys? What do you guys got lined up for this? Well, I guess before we get into that, when is the event so that we kind of know? I know it's coming up, right?
Yes, the event is March 8th through the 11th. So it's Thursday through Sunday morning. We stay at the Silverton Hotel for anybody that is curious about parking, because they do have free parking and an open parking lot, so anybody who's lifted can fit.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's kind of off the strip a little bit, so it's not quite as crazy to get in there, and there's not people smashing in and out of the in the parking lot and whatnot. So it's a little bit more open. You guys can kind of park and mingle and not be hassled by people, right?
Right. Yeah, we all park together, and then the hotel actually lets us have one of their open lots to do our raffle in, which is pretty nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, how many people do you think are coming out this year?
We've got about 80 that are say they're going. We're hoping that it is about that, if not more. I know there's a lot of people that are just now joined our Facebook page that weren't aware of it.
Right. Very cool. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it gets bigger every year. We double in size every year.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you have an idea of what kind of well, I guess this come back to that question that I was going to ask earlier. What kind of sponsors do you have, and what kind of stuff do you guys got for the raffle?
The sponsors, we have, one of our big ones is Rough Country, which they give away a lift. We gave away a 4-inch lift last year and actually had the lift on hand.
Nice.
Very
we have
cool.
Bully Dog. We have Rock Auto. Of course, Niztec is one of our big, they've always supported us. We have Roto Packs. They're going to do some things for us. Steel paracord, so any of the guys that like the paracord handles, we're going to give away some of those. Bully Dog, I don't know if I mentioned that. They give us a tuner to give away, as well as Black Widow exhaust. They give us an exhaust. And then we'll have, we have Saldana Customs, which is a light. They do headlights. So if you want your light customed. And then we also have Rugged Rocks, who's also one of our big sponsors.
Cool.
Very cool. Very cool. And
I know I missed some people, but I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm sure if you, you know what, I think the best thing to do, obviously, is where can people find you if they want to go check this meet out and see if it's something that they want to go to, or if they're, if they're looking for dates, if they can't remember them, obviously, they're just listening to the podcast. Where can they find out more about the event?
They can always follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Vegas Nationwide Nissan Meet, or hashtag VNNM. If they don't remember, they can look us up that way. Everything's posted on both as far as the dates, the times. Also with the hotel, with the Silverton Hotel, we have a room block, so they give us a discount on our rates, which is valid till February 12th for anybody that wants to still come in and book a room. We do have some available.
Very
and then
cool.
We are starting a YouTube page with the same Vegas Nationwide Nissan Meet.
So
Very cool.
what if the first time guys coming in, what kind of I'm assuming y'all have some kind of a meet and greet kind of thing. Is that what y'all do in the parking lot, or?
We do. That's the first night. We usually kind of stay at the bar at the Silverton.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that comes in, that's kind of where we meet them. And we do keep our Facebook page updated, as well as I throw my phone number on there. So if anybody does get lost, they can always get a hold of us. But the Thursday night is usually when we meet. And then come Friday morning, if you're not able to get there Thursday, you can meet us in the Silverton parking lot at 9 a.m.
Cool. Is there any associated cost with besides obviously the hotel room?
As far as coming, just your hotel and your gas and your food. The only other thing is if you want to ride on the party bus, it's $25 a person, and that includes the driver's tip because they hook us up with a lot of free bottles.
Nice.
Nice. Now, as with any big Nissan event, I always like to ask a very important question because you know what, it's immediately comes to my mind, and I think everybody that listens when they're thinking about going to a big meet like this, are pants required at a meet like that?
Come as you will. I don't care what.
It is Vegas, Danny. That's why they do it in Vegas, Dan, so that you can
well, that's
come
what
as
I
you
always
want.
usually ask.
Just
At
know
the
you probably will be on video.
Yeah, I've been caught on video doing a lot of things. What's another penny in the pot, as I say?
Right.
Well, what's funny is I spent some time in Vegas this fall, and Fremont Street. I need a few beers in me to go down Fremont Street. That's
that's actually where our party bus takes us for a few hours.
Yeah,
that's where I first kind of ran into all you guys. Is I was on Fremont after like the drivers meeting. I came out and I met you and Mike and a couple of I think there was probably about 10 of you guys kind of hopping in and out of some bars and walking Fremont Street and stuff like that. And I met you guys and kind of just like random like, hey, what's up? This is Nissan people. I was basically like exhausted at the day, but I was like, hey, what's up, guys? But yeah, Fremont Street was pretty wild.
Oh, it's always a lot of fun. And I do want to add, it's our meet is not just for trucks. Anybody who has a Nissan can show up. Very cool.
That's great. That's good to know for those of you with 300Zs like myself.
Go out doing donuts in the parking lot. Yes.
Yeah. Sweet.
So once again, what is the dates on this?
The dates are March 8th through March 11th.
And do you have a cutoff as far as them trying to get with you for the party bus? You said that was February?
The only cutoff is the hotel, and that's February 12th. And that's for booking your room. All of the information upon booking the room, as well as our group code, is on our Facebook page, as well as our Instagram page.
Okay.
Yeah, and you guys get a little bit of a discount on the rooms with that group code, correct?
Right. I think it's about $300 for the weekend, which isn't bad.
That's not bad at all. Yeah, that's great.
Well,
very cool.
Before we let you go, give us the lowdown on what you're driving, since we're a Nissan show.
Yeah,
I know you have an interesting. I followed you a little bit because the color of your vehicle a few years ago, I was like, whoa, what is going on there? So tell us a little bit about what you're driving.
I drive what I like to call her is Mad Pink. She is a 2012 Black Armada with pink powder-coated wheels, a pink rack, pink grille. I just now got a custom air hood by RK Sport. They've only made
was that the carbon fiber one like the Titans have, or no?
Yes, I'm the only Armada with that specialized hood.
Nice.
So, and it's painted pink on the inside as well.
Very nice.
The pink lights, and it should be lifted. I just got my lift kit in on Tuesday.
Nice. Sweet.
It'll be a bit bigger.
Nice. Well,
and
I mean,
I can't remember. Do you have the black, or is it that the espresso one?
It's straight black.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, you can't miss her vehicle, Danny.
Yeah, no, I couldn't remember for sure. Since the last meet, I got my family an Armada. It's an espresso black one.
Okay.
So I'm liking
Yeah.
it. I fell in love with it. It's got so much power and it's huge and beefy, and my wife loves it. So
you were
I
saying,
figured I already have a Titan, so I didn't want to get too.
well, yeah,
Nice.
I get that. So you said you guys kind of all found each other on Titan Talk. Was that it?
Yeah, we originally, the Facebook page Titan Talk, we used to do meets out in Huntington Beach, out in California. And then it kind of moved to Vegas. Well, the very first one, honestly, was in Laughlin. And then we decided to go to Vegas since Laughlin's a little bit older for a lot of us.
yeah. So retired crowd goes to Laughlin.
Yeah. So it wasn't a lot to do in Laughlin.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I may actually be out there for the Mint again, not as a driver, but as possibly pit crew and/or spectator. So, if I get a chance, I'd love to come out and see you guys. So we'll see if that happens or not. I'm always a last-minute planner, so I can't tell you whether I will be or not. But I would love to be able to swing by at least and see you guys. And hopefully, you get some more people to come out. I know it's a great group of people that have a lot of fun. So,
All right, thank you.
We were
Absolutely.
happy to have you on, and any forums or anything that people can follow this on too, or is it just strictly Facebook before we let you go?
Just have it on Facebook,
Okay.
as far as I know. We will be, like I said, we're starting our YouTube page because we do videotape. You can go onto our Facebook page and actually watch our raffle because it went live. We put it on Facebook Live last year.
Oh, sweet.
Kind of get an idea on what we do. And then with that raffle this year, there's actually going to be a chance to earn extra raffle tickets, but that's kind of a secret.
oh, the second you mentioned that, I already got excited because I feel like there's a lot of options in that statement, and like I don't want to know about it right now, but I like where your head's at.
Yeah, it's definitely a secret just to see who's there for the raffle and who's there to come enjoy the meet.
Can you add anything like? Is it going to be a lot of fun in order to get those raffle tickets?
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it.
Absolutely.
Dave, I want you to institute this new raffle ticket idea at Windrock.
All right.
Okay?
I got it.
We can talk about ideas, but I just got like 4,000 ideas right now. All of them.
Or when we're not on the air.
All of them just exploded in my left temporal lobe.
Well,
Anyhow, thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you. And once again, is there any shout outs or anything for our sponsors that you want to mention one last time?
Just again, our big sponsors, Rough Country. We really want to thank them because they do give us we're shocked that we had the actual lift. Again, Bully Dog for the tuner. NizTech for always supporting us. Chris from NizTech, especially every time I go down there. I see him once a year to go get his raffle prizes, and I appreciate it.
Nice.
Well, Chris is going to require you to say him at least more than that to buy things too. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll say I'll have to. I definitely thank him in person, and all of our sponsors do get a complimentary event shirt.
Nice.
So we do have our shirts with all of our sponsors listed.
Well, cool.
Very cool.
Well, once again, we appreciate you being on the show tonight, and good luck with your event.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hope to see you in March, Melissa.
All right, so that was Miss Sweet Melissa. Poor Danny gave her a hard time. You should have heard before we hit record. Poor Danny was like just doing the Danny on her, like just full crazy, and I don't think she knew how to take you there at first, Dan.
No, we met before, so I think she knew what she was just think she was just trying to play it cool in the air, man.
Yeah. Well, you
She knew
got
what she was getting into.
This is a big deal, man. We are up to 5 listeners, Dan.
5 listeners.
Jeez, I mean, we're going global with that.
Well, it can't be a big deal with 4 listeners, but when you hit 5,
Well,
game changer.
hey, and speaking of big deal, man, I don't know if you saw this, Danny. We had a package go to Australia the other day.
Sent out?
Yeah, sent out, man. Our buddy,
buddy.
David Garcia, I believe is his name.
Wait, how an Australian with the name David Garcia?
I know
don't believe it.
it's strange, but he's Southern. We'll say Southern Australian.
Like
but,
down in Perth. Where did you send it?
Well, that's
city?
That's a good question. David will chime. He's pretty active on our Facebook. Yeah, he's pretty active on our Facebook, so he'll post up and be like, "Dude, what you're selling me out here?" But
David, you said, right?
yeah, and I'll tell you real quick. But he's a fan of the 4x4 podcast with Dan Cole, our buddy over there, and I don't know how he found us. But somehow he's found us, and he's been a listener for quite a while. And every once in a while, he'll send me notes and stuff.
Sweet.
And I'm always telling you Australians, I'm itching to send something to Australia, and I got my chance, man. I got to send a bunch of stickers, and I don't know what all I sent.
Cool.
But it made its way to Australia, and that was really cool. And then I posted it on the Facebook page a while back, but it's nice to see the little Nissan mic logo of ours sitting on a Nissan Patrol that's actually in Australia.
Yeah, going international.
Yeah, man.
We're an internationally traded company, basically.
He is in Victoria, Australia.
Victoria. Okay.
Yeah, and if you want his address, here I'll just put his address out over there.
Put his address up.
And his phone number and we'll just do it all, man. But no, he's been a big fan of the show, and he's like, hey man, I've got numbers for Nissan dealer. Nissan, what do we got going on there? Beeping all kinds of noises. But he's like, yeah man, I got all kinds of dealers down here you can talk to. But this guy's an adventurer, Danny. He's a man of your own kind.
Very cool.
He posted up some pictures of him out in the outback a little bit doing something.
Yeah, Victoria's down in the southeastern area, basically. Yeah, way south. East side, I guess you would say, down near the islands and stuff. So, but very good, dude. That's cool. It's good. It's a cool area.
Yeah. So, that donation button people we were talking about earlier. We need to go meet David. So,
technically, Dave, my foster son is Australian.
That is true. So you need to go down there, right? And
yeah. So I may eventually go out to Perth. Who knows? Visit some extended family for my foster son. So.
That's right, man. Well, they're your family now. Brother. So yeah. So anyway, next time we were going to discuss the Detroit Auto Show. We're going to see what Nissan pops up. I got a feeling it's going to be kind of a quiet show for them, but we'll see. And after that, I don't know, man. We're just going to let you guys rule the roost and tell us where to go. We'll do a Google Live, Danny. That went over really well. We ain't done one in a while.
Yeah, and we'll try and figure that out, or a YouTube live. Ooh. Maybe we can try and figure that out too.
Yeah,
we'll see.
But from everybody here at the Nissan Nation podcast, from JR and everybody that helps me do the show, to my buddy over there, Danny, this is the Nissan Nation podcast. And what are we, Danny?
Out.
Peace, everybody. Love y'all.